Studio Gainax were the masters of balls-to-the-wall insanity and love for the anime medium. This insanity varies from series to series, from mind-melting self-introspection to sex-metaphorical intergalactic freeway wars. Even though they have fallen out of the limelight in the last few years, there has been another studio that has taken up the bat, Studio Trigger, which has many of the same staff as Gainax, so they jumped ship when this new studio was created back in 2012. So to celebrate these two studios, let's go through the insanity and have some fun with the history. Gainax started off as a group of university students, including Hideaki Anno. I'll get more into his work in a moment. They created two animated shorts called Daikon 3 and 4 about a woman riding a guitar and jumping through different pop culture icons such as Ultraman and Star Wars. The shorts are entertaining but not essential to watch. The animation was pretty good considering this was animated only by a couple of animators. So what was the first series that Gainax created? Nadia, the Secret of the Blue Water. This was more of an adventure story from the great Hayao Miyazaki. Half this series is good in terms of animation, story and characters, but the other half was outsourced to a different studio and the series takes a nosedive. I'd recommend searching out the episodes done by Gainax but avoid terrible episodes. It's a decent watch, but then we get to the infamous one, Neon Genesis Evangelion, from Anno, who also directed Nadia, but this was more his story and vision. I will also just say that Anno was going through depression at the time of production. The first half of this series is about building characters in the world of the angels attacking to destroy humanity, and the only hope are a group of teenagers with varying degrees of emotional damage. And then the second half went into strange vision scenes with the animation going into a stop-start pattern.
What the hell is that?
I don't understand many of these scenes, and I've watched the Monogatari series, which is full of self-introspective talk between characters with crazy visuals and directing style. The series also suffered production issues due to it being slowly written, so there was no planning in advance. Also, the Tokyo subway sarin gas attack in 1995, which forced them to rewrite it further. I mean, Evangelion had some of the best mecha battle animation ever, and then had some scenes that had barely any animation at all. I'm not a fan of most of the characters apart from Rei.
I'm a coward! I'm dishonest! I'm sneaky! And a wimp.
There have been better mecha series. It's a hit or miss for people, so give it a watch to see if you will enjoy it. But there was also Death and Rebirth, which was an hour-long recap of the show, which sucks because recap.
Lame.
Also, the feature film known as End of Evangelion, which can be summed up by the legendary Bugs Bunny. The first half is just like the series, with the whining and the fighting before going into the boring parts that just drone on and make little to no sense. Also, when are the rebuild movies ending? Oh no. But now for one of my favourite anime of all time. FLCL, or FLCL, is pure insanity. It has a plot of an intergalactic battle between a giant space phoenix, a machine intelligence, and a guitar-wielding woman from outer space, while also being a coming-of-age story about a young boy called Naota becoming a man. The battles of the episodes with the robotic monstrosities that come out of people's heads, including Naota's. This show is really damn strange. Characters like Naota and Eri are shown to be flawed and childish individuals because they are young people and learn to grow above it.
They're fake.
Sometimes. Sex is a big thing in this series. It is shown how the world is affected through the different characters, and how Naota can use a baseball bat in order to hit an asteroid away from the Earth. It makes sense in context, I think. FLCL feels like a different version of Evangelion because it's about a boy who has to stand up, get over their problems, and save the world. The thing that works about FLCL is that it actually goes through with it. Naota actually does grow up and change, while Shinji just sits there and moans. This is my favourite production from Gainax. I haven't even gone into the references.
What's he talking about?
He wrote a whole book on the deep mysteries of Eva.
References are a major influence in certain shows starting here. Seen more later with Kill La Kill and Space Patrol Luluco. Definitely watch this 6-episode train of awesome. Then Cutie, honey. I love these OVAs. The story of a spandex-clad android kicking ass and taking names.
Why not?
The animation is insane, especially in the first episode with the wacky over-the-top animation, and it is glorious. Check this out if it sounds like your type of OVA. The opening is my favorite part with the amazing remake of the original theme song. The opening was also used for the live-action adaptation film directed by Arno. I even made a video about how much I love this work of art. Link in the description. The first episode of Cutie Honey was done by Hiroyuki Imaishi. He will be a huge part of these videos in terms of the rest of the series. He worked on Neon Genesis Evangelion as a key animator and fully directing the animation of episode 5. He also storyboarded the opening of OKKO, a Cartoon Network series that began airing this year about a group of warriors working at a supermarket and battling the evil robots of Lord Boxman. I just wanted to mention it, and it's actually pretty good. I should also mention that a lot of Gainax productions have been co-productions with other studios. Evangelion with Tatsunoko, FLCL with Production IG, Cutie Honey with Toy Animation, and Panty and Stockings with Funimation. I just wanted to point out how many studios helped Gainax in terms of getting their series to the level of quality that they have. Then came the series that would pierce the heavens. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is the first full series directed by Imaishi, and he stretched his creativity through the animation right through the gate. The story of a boy discovering a small robot and using it to break through the earth against their oppressors and lead humanity to the future. This series excels both in action and character designs. The fight scenes flow between each other and delivers bursts of animation, especially with the finishers. The character designs also remind me of the Cowboy Bebop cast. They are cool characters with specific colours which are used in order to unify the characters. If you want a more specific deconstruction of the character designs, check out Digibro's video, link in the description. The mecha designs are excellent, especially in terms of the form change. The story is told like a legend of a real person from thousands of years ago, with Simon and the cast on a journey that would change the world. Highly recommended for everyone in order to fight the power. Then came the raunchy demonic nightmare of an anime called Panty and Stockings with a garter belt, again with Imaishi in the director's chair. This series is like a fusion of Family Guy and the Powerpuff Girls. It's as creative as the Lego movie, but not as funny. I mean, if you like this kind of humor.
Yes, you always have to fuck up everything, don't you? This is my room. Yours looks like a hoarder's asshole exploded.
The plot of this series is of a pair of loudmouth angel sisters being thrown out of heaven and are charged with killing demons who are rampaging the earth. I personally am not a fan of it, though I will praise the use of animation through the style changes from cartoony to highly detailed. But then there is the ending, which I've talked about before, and I've even made a video discussing it, link in the description again. Although, here's how to sum it up. No! Again, check it out to see if you will like it, even though it is unlikely that it'll get a season 2 due to many of the creative team moving over to a new studio called Trigger. Speaking of which, Kill La Kill is divisive. Thanks Imaishi. Some love it and some hate it, and I can see both sides. So what do I think of it? It's okay. The series is crass and openly sexual to the point of near parody.
Put me on! Put me on!
No, you perv!
Amazing.
But the writing and Marco, who is perfect. I personally love Transforming Heroes series, and Kill La Kill is a series that falls under this genre. The plot is about a girl called Ryuko whose father is killed by a mysterious assassin with a scissor blade. She travels to Onochi Academy to discover the connections between her father's death and the life fiber battle suits used by the students, led by the Elite Four and the head of the school, Sasuke. She discovers a special suit created by her father and uses it to battle up the school and discover the answers behind the mysteries of the life fibers.
What a story, Mark.
The opening scene of the series starts with this. This sets the tone for consistently smashing through many fight scenes. The character designs are ugly yet attractive at the same time as the outfits for each characters are unique and reflect their personalities. The music is amazing, especially Blumenkranz, which is one of my favourite villain themes of all time. Some other flaws would be the strange character flips from evil to... So, like some of the past entries in this video, you should check out at least the first episode in order to see if this series is for you. Also, Marco is perfect. Then came the OVAs. Little Witch Academia started as short films and were cute for what they were, even though it was basically like that book and later movie series that were made for years and made a ton of money. But nah. The story of a group of girls going to a school to learn how to become witches, and just look at this animation. There were 2 OVAs and they were popular enough to get a full 25 episode series in 2017. I fully recommend watching both the OVAs and the series for the animation, character designs, and the fact that this teacher is definitely not the idol of the protagonist in disguise. However, now we get to more awesome. Space Patrol Luluco is the story of a girl trying to live a normal life in a space colonization zone. When her police officer father is accidentally frozen, and to unfreeze him, Luluco has to become an officer of the Space Patrol and battle evil and get a date with the new guy. This series of short was a tribute to the insanity. The references are in full force here, with both to Gurren Lagann and Kill La Kill. The story of a child growing into something more isn't new, but is how the series is written through the goofy and non-serious, especially with the references. Not to mention the animation, which uses simple designs that uses the power of animation in order to keep something moving within the frame for more comedy effect. I recommend this series fully for an epic beyond most others apart from Fooly and Gurren Lagann. Thank you Imaishi for this masterpiece. So how do I conclude this? I made this video to talk about the changes that the studios and especially these creators have made to the industry. While I may not love Evangelion, it did have massive changes to the industry at the time, from mostly being manga adaptations and toy vehicles to more original stories being made like Rasafon and Code Geass. I haven't even gone into some of the animators from Trigger like Takafumi Ori working on this specific scene from Steven Universe. I am also looking forward to Trigger's adaptation of Gridman, which is based on the tokusatsu series Denko Chojin Gridman. So here's to the future of Trigger, and to remember Gainax for the anime that they have brought us. Also watch OKKO. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content from yours truly. Also I have a Twitter now, link in the description to follow me.